Alex, I think what you're referring to, it's called the New Silk Road essentially. But
Is
what
that what it
China
is?
is
Yeah.
doing, it's yeah.
Yeah.
Essentially, what they're doing is creating this passageway from China itself through the South Chinese Sea, around the Indian Ocean, through Africa, then like through like the canal
Yeah.
into Europe and stuff like that. And they're trying to reconnect the entire like Eurasian continent with Africa itself, and trying to establish them over America as a global power. And what they're doing is that they're creating these billion-dollar military bases in these countries that they know can't pay for it. Like great example is Sri Lanka. They built like a multi-billion-dollar military base in this small ass country in the middle of the Indian Ocean. Knew they wouldn't be able to pay for it, foreclosed on it essentially, and then took over land. And now China occupies part of Sri Lanka. They've done that in Sri Lanka, Kenya, Djibouti, and all these countries that like they know they can't pay it back, and as a result, they're just like capitalizing on that. And that's very scary. But I mean, it's also what America did originally to gain power in the first place. So it's not like we haven't seen that for per se.
Right.
But it's definitely to say that China will be a dominant power. The whole thing is that China is going to be the dominant power of the world for the next, well, maybe not the hegemon, but they're going to be like the hegemonic stability between the US and China for the next few decades, perceivably. And there's obviously money to be made there. So we just got to find a way to capitalize on that. And maybe it's not Chinese stocks, maybe it's something else, but that's definitely need to be had if you want to make a lot of money.
Yeah, I totally
Chinese
agree. And I
fake
think
iPhones. That's the way to do it.
I agree. I think, China is certainly transforming into a world superpower. Um, but I'd also argue that America is still where people want to build businesses, right? I follow a lot of entrepreneurs on Twitter, and a lot of them, actually, I'm not sure you guys know Pipe.com, but Harry Hurst is from England, I believe, is where he's from. And he built Pipe.com, which was the fastest fintech company to reach a $2 billion valuation. And it's like only a year and a half old, and it's incredible. And he came to America to build it, and he's hiring people who are leaving India to come to America to work. They're not going to China to work, like they're coming here because not only do we have favorable right now, we have favorable long-term capital gains taxes on after IPOs and things of that nature. I don't know if that's going to change under the Biden administration, but I just think right now America is poised for, it's like capitalism, and if you want to, and obviously capitalism and money is what a lot of people are focused on, especially if you're building a business. Where I think it's a little bit different in China, a little different with communism, and so I think that yes, China is definitely evolving, and I think the number one thing that catches my attention is the talent. You cannot ignore the incredible talent in China. I mean, for every like one person that graduates with a STEM degree in America, there's like 92 in China, right? And those people are working for Neo, they're working for Didi, they're working for these really cool companies that are building. And yeah, I wish I had a cool answer. I wish I like knew this better to be like, yeah, do this or do that, but I have no fucking clue. I'm just over here betting on America.
No, yeah, I honestly agree with some of your opinions on, consumer and what you should invest in is what you know. So I definitely respect that opinion that you have. So
Yeah.
Plus, their population is massive. They have a 1.4 billion population compared to America's 333 million. So kind of go back to your point, one to 91. Yeah, it makes sense to why there would be
I
that
just
many
pulled it up
more.
my ass, by
So
the way. I have no idea what the real
yeah,
numbers are on that,
it
but
is though. It's pretty high. It's definitely not one to 91, but it's like it's higher, we'll say, than the United States. Um, but yeah, it's just it kind of goes with everything else. They have a massive population. Their government's massive. They have a massive overreach to their population and their businesses because they're communists. Um, and I think that's going to be a huge driving force, like you said, to actually bring businesses to the United States. And I think that's why we'll always be fine. I think as long as we can keep capitalism up there on our priority list. And as much as you know, because you're an entrepreneur and you've invested money, you're in companies, you own companies. The government has their hands in them a lot, but they don't have them in as much as communist countries. And I think that's what's going to keep, as long as we keep it that way, that's what's going to keep driving businesses to the United States. Fingers crossed it works out like that. But that's my thought on it.